Summer plans. Yun na lang. I wanna hear your plans.
You don't take off just there's a small fight. You know, you work things out. Until talagang hindi na kaya. I mean, it took me 18 years. Diba? To try, you know, kaming dalawa, try to fix it. But nung hindi na talaga pwede, hindi na. Ako yun lang yung mapapaya ko. You let the kids know what's happening. You don't keep them in the dark. Because with that, it's easier for them to accept and their decisions to themselves. I'm Ann Angela. I'm connected to Visayan Forum and I have 5 children. I was born in Davao, pero I was raised na dito. From 1 year old, dito na ako lumaki, sa Manila. Growing up here is perfect for me kasi we have so many places to go. My family, we love going in outings. So we go to beaches, umaakit kami ng mga bundok nung bata kami, hikes, we travel when we can. Best of both worlds ako eh. During the school year, I'm here. Tapos vegan ako pag summer with my brothers and cousins. And then Davao naman for Christmas. My dad is a lawyer, very quiet guy. He kept to himself, but I was very close to him when I was little. And then my mom naman, yan naman siya yung very gregarious. She had so many friends, ganyan. So talagang opposite poles silang dalawa. But then we weren't a very affectionate family. We talk a lot. Conversations was during the dinner time yun, conversations galore yun. But then in terms of affection, hindi kami masyadong ganon. We weren't the touchy, I love you kind of family doon sa where I grew up. Siguro 1 year rin ako sa advertising eh. So PA, PM, nag-AD ako, ganyan. And then, nagpelikula pa ako, 1 or 2 films sa script continuity. And then after that, I got into music. I managed for a few decades. But then all throughout that, I always had this desire to help, to reach out. Ganun. So even if I was in the corporate world, ako yung nandun sa CSR. Ako yung will make sure that there is CSR there. And then, until finally, I got into Visayan Forum. Management kasi is not a full-time thing, so I don't have to go to the office, nothing like that. So a lot of the times, I'd bring my kids to the gigs when they were, medyo malalaki na. But then yung first band that I managed, I really had to focus on my being a mom. Kasi it's hard to be a first-time mom and then to be working. It was a very challenging time for me kasi sobrang akong free spirit, rock and roll ako galing, ganon. So I was touring the country. So all of a sudden, yun na nga, I had the baby I had to take care of, yung ganon. So, but it wasn't a compromise. I loved it, you know. In fact, diba, I have 5 kids. So tuloy-tuloy na yun. Since nagkaanak ako ng isa, tuloy-tuloy na. I have 5 kids. My son Nathan is in Cebu. He's a musician. My second daughter, Karen, she's 20. Nathan is 21, Karen's 20, and she's taking up marine biology in Cebu. Next is Katrina. Katrina is 17 years old, and she's my assistant. And she edits if I have to write something, she edits my pieces. She's going to be senior high next year, and she wants to get into Humes. So I guess that's right down my down my alley. And then Isabel, she is 15 years old and she's a ballerina in CCP. And Nicole, my daughter who is in regular school, she does archery. She's my sports person. All my other kids, well, my 2 kids who are both homeschooled.
The color for surfboard, look, it's pink. Look at her, look at her.
I'm very liberal as a mom. So I let them do what they want to do. First, if I can afford it. Second is if I think that's right down their path. Like classic yung anak ko sa Cebu, si Karen, since she was grade 4, she wanted to be a marine biologist. Hindi yun nagbago. So in Cebu was one of the, better schools in marine biology. So when she took the exam and then she passed, it was kind of challenging na payagan ko kasi we don't have family there. We're not from there.
This is the blue Turnatea.
Recent lang naman
Look.
yung full 2 years, yung full separation namin. Pero for the longest time, on and off siya. Let's say we've been together for 19 going 20 years, parang on the first year pa lang, sobrang rocky na. So it was on and off talaga. Artist din yung asawa ko, into music also. So medyo intermittent din yung mga, yung earnings and mood swings and everything. So basically I had to stand up for the kids, make a lot of decisions in terms of what they wanted to do. Decision for the kids was already pretty much nakaset na eh. They have their own ideas already of what they want to do. They're very independent kids, so they can move around, and I think they have a good head on their shoulders, so they make the right decisions. Of course, sometimes it's not the popular decision like what my son did, or even going to homeschool was something that people still are, what? They go to homeschool, so how's their social skills? How's this, how's that? So it's not a popular thing, but I think it's good because they're able to do what they want to do. And even yung gap year ni Katrina, yung 1 year na people say, why do you allow her to take 1 year off? Sayang naman yung time. Pero masayang yata yung time if I let her go on and she doesn't, know where to study or what to do. It was my youngest who was saying na ayaw ko, they don't want to get separated. But until finally when she said, okay ma'am, I understand already why you wanna go, then I said okay. And then yun na. And in like 2 weeks or a month, I was already flying off to New York. Yun, and then stayed there for a while, stayed there for almost a year. And then came back healed, came back na parang okay, ready na, game. And the kids, while I was away, they were great. They didn't have mom, but walang napariwara sa mga anak ko. Isabel was dancing, Karen was still in school, Nathan was still in school at that time, taking care of the younger girls. So he was like the mom and dad, and then Kat was there also, Katrina, taking care of everyone. For me rin naman, one of the reasons when the reasons why I had to stay on was, aside from my kids, was what a lot of people would say. Siyempre, conservative, my parents, especially my mom, my family, yung ganon. But then, if you're not happy anymore and it's not working and it's already affecting the children, then there's no point in staying on. And then maybe they should take it like what happened to me. When we separated, everything was a lot better for him and for me and for the kids. I think the decision to separate was the best decision for the family. My kids are doing great. I'm very happy, and I'm sure my ex-husband's also, doing whatever he wants to do. And I've learned so much. I've learned so much in life. In fact, I just finished a book. I'm sharing my experiences, how I coped with 5 kids and having to, fend for them, having to go through all that, but still, having kids who are achievers. Hindi naging setback, yung naging problems namin in our marriage to whatever they are now. My source of strength are my 5 children. The decisions I make will always be based on what will be good for them. Sometimes it's painful, like I had to leave for the States because I had to physically be away already, ganon. But then, me staying there and me healing there, being away, is to make sure that, I'm whole. When I came back, it was because of them also. I want to make sure that everything's going fine. So decisions are 80% because of them. The 20 is of course mine. Meron pa rin akong kinikip sa sarili ko.
Remember when I broke my leg? Yeah, when I broke my leg.
The best moments for me with my kids is when we just chat.
5 days.
My 5 kids are very, are very eloquent, and we have fun. We just laugh and laugh, We joke around, tapos we talk about whatever happened, And then we also love going out. We love going to beaches, we love watching movies. I have a chat with my 5 kids on Messenger. It's called Mom Speaks. It's called that, so everything's there. Like, so we're always connected. I just want to make sure that all my kids are doing what they want to do and they live off what they want to do, support themselves. And me, I'll continue on, climbing the mountains. I will travel more and just be happy.
Thank you. Bahala ka na sa
I was ready to go. I said, Lord, if you choose to get me, who am I to say, right? But syempre gusto kong extension, manliliit pa ng mga anak ko noon. But again, it was really the healer of healers and the doctor of doctors. I am Liza Caleda. I'm 61 years old. We lived in Indonesia for 20 years, 10 years in Vietnam, and now we're back here in the Philippines. Oh, taga Batangas ako. Pero of course, dito na ako lumaki sa Maynila. I was born here and I went to school here and then went to the United States for a while, for about 3 or 4 years, went there for college and then came back here. And that was when I met my husband, Benny Caleda, at the University of the Philippines. I also was very active with the UP repertory. Artista ako eh. Artista, no? But I love in plays. And in fact, when I was under Ben Cervantes. And when he was my director, and I had to be Sisa, hindi na ako umakto eh. Yun na ako eh. Lokaret na ako talaga eh. I grew up in a very strict but very loving family. Striktong dad. Ako yung panganay na babae, so ang dami kong curfews, which I think was a rollover to how I was going to be as a mom. When we were in Indonesia, I was a sales and marketing manager for American Airlines in Jakarta. We were there for 20 years. And then after that, when my husband, because he's with United Laboratories, he was moved to Vietnam to be the country manager there. I decided that ayoko nang magkota, ayoko nang mag-presentation and all that, you know. My children practically grew up there. My son Brian, who's now 38, when he was there when he was 6 years old. And then my second son, Benjamin, who is now a doctor, a naturopathic doctor in Vancouver, was 4. And my little girl, Cara, was only 3 months old when we moved to Jakarta. It was there where they really actually grew up. And mas nakakausap mo sila in Bahasa Indonesia kesa sa Tagalog. It's very unfortunate, but they now speak and they understand fully. Pero mas sila, they're more able to speak in Bahasa Indonesia. Sa bahay, we still try to keep the Tagalog language. At saka, you know, our cousin, Nelia, is the one that really, pag nasa bahay, at kasi I was working, so pag uwi nila, yung manang Nelia nila ang nagte-take care of them. I try to raise up my kids the Filipino way. The advantage of being able to come home and be a Filipino, especially with a beautiful culture of manupo, of you know, elders, you know, nagpopo and opo. And until now, to this day, they still, when they see titas and titos, they always bless. And napakaganda ang kultura na yon. My challenge as a mother at the time when we were in Indonesia was, you know, Jakarta International School had about 100 nationalities, you know. But at the same time, when they come home, they are Filipinos. Mahirap yun. Pero we, as parents, instilled upon them na uuwi kayo ng ganitong oras na, you know, you only have, kasi I grew up the same way, no? Hindi mo yata maaalis yun. Na kapag ka pinakalaki ka ng a certain way, you kinda want your kids to grow up the same way. So, meron kaming curfew. Ang difficulty nun is, yung kanilang mga kaibigan walang curfew. Kasi from different nationalities. Well, when I was in Indonesia, I had cancer. I was diagnosed of invasive ductal carcinoma, which is breast cancer, almost late stage 3. Una, pagka pala ganon, hindi mo matake na may cancer ka. You deny. Parang, me have cancer? Hindi yata, you know, and I was the happy and, you know, girl that I am. And it wouldn't sink in really until, you know, when I was going to meet my husband in my doctor's office, and when I saw him there, that was when I really broke down. Yes, you break down because you're human. I decided I wasn't gonna go chemo. At that time, my kids were crying, begging me to have chemotherapy, because during that time, ang talagang kilala lang na makakagamot sa cancer is chemotherapy. I'm not saying that chemotherapy doesn't work, because to some it does. But for me, it was a way for me na ang laki pala ng plano ng Panginoon sa aking pagkakaroon ng cancer. Dahil it wasn't easy. I was taking 150 herbs a day. It was complete lifestyle change. I couldn't eat meat, no mga delata, wala, puro lang gulay. You know, I was a very positive person. And I'm telling everybody here, if you believe that that protocol, halimbawa, ang chinus mo ay chemotherapy, you better embrace that and believe that it will heal you. Every time that drip will go to you, pray over it and believe that it will heal you. Because that in itself, when you believe in the protocol that you have chosen, half the healing is done. And be positive, be happy. Ako, wala akong makain. I couldn't eat anything. But I would tell my husband, love, ito, look, this is my kare-kare, this is my adobo, this is my sinigang, this is my everything, you know. And I was very positive. I was taking it, and then I called all my friends. I'm a very social person, as you can see. I told all my friends, okay, I was diagnosed with cancer, but I'm not going the chemotherapy way. I'm going the alternative way. At the time, it was called alternative. And I said, please continue to invite me. Don't make any food, special food for me. But I will have my lunchbox. If in the spread of the food that you have there, there's nothing that I can eat, don't mind me. I'm going to open my lunchbox. And more often than not, the people will be picking from my food, really. Each herb was encapsulated. So, kung minsan pagka, di syempre, 50 yon sa morning, 50 sa tanghali, 50 sa gabi. Pagka, you know, when I burp, I can taste the turmeric, ginger, garlic, all these healing plants that actually is now being recognized as a protocol. Can you imagine I was taking it for almost 5 years.
I'm just fixing.
Fixing the camera? Why do you need
We right now have a little girl, our daughter, Joanna. She is the love of our life at this moment in the season of our life. We're seniors now, and we adopted her from the Marital Children's World Foundation in SSS Marikina. And and she has given us so much joy.
And she has given us so much joy. And I said, please continue to invite me. Don't make any food, special food for me. But I will have my lunchbox. If in the spread of the food that you have there, there's nothing that I can eat, don't mind me. I'm going to open my lunchbox. And more often than not, the people will be picking from my food, really.
Each herb was encapsulated. So, kung minsan pagka, di syempre, 50 yon sa morning, 50 sa gabi. Pagka, you know, when I burp, One of the things that I can say about all this, encompassing all this, is unconditional love. No matter how bad you think your kids are, there should be a mother that should have the heart to love unconditionally. After all, we were also loved by our Father who created us unconditionally.